too many Americans today, the American dream seems further and further out of reach. We've all heard it's been said that elections have consequences. In December 2020, I could drive into a gas station in my home state of South Carolina and fill my car at $1.99 a gallon. In less than a year into the Biden administration, at the same pump, it was $3.40 a gallon in 2021. Now, it's over $6 a gallon here in California and almost $4 a gallon in South Carolina. Since the 2020 election, the Democrats have pumped trillions of dollars into our economy, creating inflation, an invisible tax that's hitting our most vulnerable populations the hardest. Our single moms, our seniors on fixed incomes, and people living paycheck to paycheck. President Reagan once said, "Inflation is as violent as a mugger, as frightening as an armed robber, and as deadly as a hitman." We can do better for the American people, and we have done better for the American people. From 2016, to 2020, we reformed the regulatory state, making it responsible but not burdensome. I'm grateful to have been one of 4 senators charged with the task of reforming our tax code and the principal architect for modifying the personal side of the code. We cut single moms' taxes by nearly 70%, dual income households by 60%. Those tax cuts led to the average family keeping nearly $4,000 of their own dollars, hard-earned money they got to keep. We lowered the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21% and unleashed the American economy. We implemented my Opportunity Zone program to ensure vulnerable communities have better access to economic investment. In just the first full year of Opportunity Zones, 2019, we saw $29 billion in private sector dollars invested in low-income, high-poverty, majority-minority areas. When we were in leadership, we advanced the most inclusive economy the nation had ever seen. We created 7 million jobs thanks to tax reform and regulatory certainty. Unemployment rates hit the lowest ever recorded for African Americans, under 6%, Hispanics under 5%, Asians under 3%, women a 70-year low. All Americans, somewhere around 3.5%. But most incredible, the wages for the bottom 25% grew faster than the wages for the top 25%. And oh, by the way, revenue to the federal treasury increased after we lowered taxes. No one on the left wants you to know that. And guess who would not have been surprised? President Ronald Reagan. The numbers don't lie. The GOP, the great opportunity party, when we're in leadership, we deliver for the American people. On the flip side of that, Democrats' leadership has led to a 40-year high in inflation, and they're pouring more money on the crisis. That's not good news for moms making decisions in homes like the one I was raised in. President Biden says he wants to lower costs by raising wages. Democrats do not understand how the free market system works. As a man who actually ran a business, I know that you increase wages by improving productivity so that you have more on the bottom line, and with those extra resources, you can increase income and benefits. In order for the American economy to grow, we need to get people coming back to the workforce, not leaving it. That's fact. Today, we have more jobs open than people looking for work. Meanwhile, Democrats in Los Angeles are paying people $1,000 a month in so-called UBI, the Universal Basic Income, to stay home. We need to restore the dignity of work. How do we do it? We do it by providing more incentives for people to come back to work. We do it by expanding the definition of workforce to include gig workers, rideshare drivers, and food deliverers. We want to make sure that the workers of the future have a say in their workplace, when they work, how much they work, and their benefits. Meanwhile, Democrats continue to push failed policies that force employees into restrictive unions to promote their own political purposes. 90% of union political dollars go to Democrats, but 40% of union households vote for Republicans. Democrats want to eliminate the right-to-work laws in 27 states, ushering in a new wave of unions. That's wrong for our workers. It's wrong for our economy, and it is wrong for our country. Workers want flexibility, and they want to build a workplace around their families and their personal time. Conservatives can help them accomplish that goal through common sense reforms and incentives that focus on the future, not the past. When I look around today, it honestly feels like we've gotten into a time machine and traveled back to the Carter era of the 1970s. That's when the term misery index was born. I remember the 1970s and the rationing of supplies due to weak economic policies and weak leadership in the White House. I remember the Iran hostage crisis, and every day, 444 of them, every day that went by where American citizens were left in harm's way. Those Americans were released the day Ronald Reagan was sworn in as president. This was not a coincidence. Joe Biden, they told us, was the most experienced person in matters of foreign policy to ever seek the presidency. What they forgot to tell us is that experience and acumen are two different things.